Hello and welcome to the Breakout Racing League. I actually I just got weather report, but sorry for the butchered intro to the stream. But hello, welcome to the Breakout Racing League for round 11. I believe it's either round 10 or round 11.
10.
DXD can correct me on that. Yeah, round 10. Thank you for correcting me on that. But we are here at the infamous Silverstone track here at Britain, which is most teams' home track, you can say, as there is 11 driver grid for today. And Squad 11 drivers, we have a new driver, which is Potato in the Williams. I am your host, Zach the Beast 42, and alongside with me is DXD Ishigo. DXD, how you feeling about this race?
I'm feeling pretty good. Another 11 car grid. Bit of a shame considering how competitive Tier 3 has been, but just like last week, it means almost everyone can score points, and if someone DNFs, then everyone scores points. So, I'm interested to see. We're almost halfway into the season. I think it's a 23 race calendar. So, yeah, like you said, a lot of teams, this is their home race, and all the drivers want a good result at this famous track.
I do agree, as I'm not on board, but with BRL Ardell, as you can tell, the White Bull is now gone with the new update, which added Jeddah. It removed the White Bull and added back the original Red Bull, so it's great to see the original Red Bull colors back on the racing track, as there is currently, it is split down the middle with 5 guys on the soft compound tire for the moment and 6 drivers on the mediums. And about the weather, it is dry for both sessions, so we're going to see a dry session.
Yeah, it should be pretty simple, I'd say, for this qualifying race without any weather playing effects. So I think that could be good for the drivers. For the same time, it also means it's just going to be a lot of DRS trains, and if you spin and there's no safety car, then it's going to be a whole lot tougher to make up that gap with the pace being so close between these drivers.
I do agree. Silverstone here in this game is one of the hardest tracks to pass at. I've learned that myself here in Realistic last night. If you remember, Realistic, there's a little DRS train with me, Taylor Clan, Deer Hunter, and John for a while. No one could pass. Everyone used up their battery, including me. Had to use up their battery to get around, and eventually John made a move on me. I didn't give enough space, and I was the one being victim of it, in my opinion, which is just Cody contact system, which was really unfortunate. But moral of the story is that it's going to be very hard to pass here. And if you do pass, it's going to have to be in an area where there is a chance for collision.
Yeah, like you said, being in the realistic race, I wasn't in train, I was just by myself in the Alfa Romeo. Just the pace isn't a problem, I'd say, especially on the medium tires. It's just a very consistent tire. But I think that first turn is going to be very crucial if people just stay patient in the trains and just keep it on the track and get no warnings, because this place is notorious, as we've seen from last night, and trying to get a overtake and that a clean overtake.
Yep, as Vera Ardell, which is the driver I'm on board with, of course, is going to be the first driver to lay down a lap time for everyone to beat, as we're going to be waiting for that. Is in a little bit, I'll do a hot lap with someone and give off all the corner names, because I finally got a track map with me. Thanks to HeyCatcher3124 for giving me this track map to use. So Ardell goes top with a 27.3, as Whiffy retires in the session in Abbey, actually.
Oh no. Let me see him on the track. Oh, there he is. Yeah, he must have went off at turn 1. Oh,
Yeah, I believe in this game with, of course, turn 1 in this game was iffy. With if I, at least from my could tell, if you take too much turn in, you will take too much of a wide line and the rear will just step out. Chances are you won't have any time to save the car and you will go around and the wall is there for you to hit, and which I believe is how Whiffy has DNF'd in Abbey.
yeah. Just want to give a shout out real quick to our chat, Bailey29 and BRL Phantom. Just want to give a shout out to them. I saw them in the chat. So yeah, good to see you guys here. Always supporting the stream. And Potato is just gone to P2 of the 29.1 on those medium tires. Not a terrible lap from the newcomer here in Tier 3.
Yep. And actually now in P3 with Deron Swanson in the Ferrari going up in the 27.6. So at least 3 tenths behind Ardell. As seems like everyone is on the soft compound. Not everyone, but most of these drivers that have set a lap are on the soft compounded tire. And Killer has actually invalidated his lap time. His catcher's in the pit lane. Gary's invalidated. Heat Doggos keep it clean, going into Stowe, now going into Val now. Breaks up to between the 50 and 100 meter board. As going through Club now, going on the Hamilton straight. Let's see what chapter lap time he will do. He will do a 28.2 on the medium compound tire in the AlphaTauri.
You know, it's strange you said that before he even crossed the line. So, I got a little confused there. I'm like, what? He's seeing the future? But yeah, not a terrible lap time from the AlphaTauri driver. So I think these are some good, decent maker laps for these medium tires, but I don't think it's going to be the tire to start on. I think a lot of these drivers are going to start on the softs and just hit, I'd say lap 7 if they want the undercut, maybe lap 9, because as we saw in the race in realistic last night, these mediums can go a very long time in this race, if not the entire race.
Yep. It will be if you get wing damage on lap 1, perhaps turn 1, but I believe you can make the mediums go all the way. If you can't, it will be very close. Talking Cass almost spins out in turn 1, has to make a correction, and now he's backed off of his lap. As Mitchie's on an out lap now on the soft compound tires in the Red Bull, and I will probably be doing a hot lap with him as I will wait for him. So his lap times, I'm trying to see if anyone is on the lap in that little train. And no, it's not. It's just Mitchie on an out lap. I had to clear up my throat. As now he's coming out of Stowe, going into Val now. Right in between the 50 and the 100 meter board, like I was thinking he would. But going to Club now, he's going on the Hamilton Straight, excuse me for butchering that. On the Hamilton Straight now, he's going to go into Abbey. Goes to Abbey now, which is turn 1. Now he's going to hit the farm curb, which is turn 2. And now he'll be going into Village. Coming out of the Village, you have the loop going into turn 5. Gets through the loop, you got to get a good exit through here. Now you're going to go through Antry through here to the DRS. Now you're on the Wellington Straight. The corner ahead of you is Brooklands. He's going to break around after the 50 meter board. Yes, he does. Going into Brooklands now, he's going to come off across, go to the right side, which is left field. He's going to come out here. Now he's on the wood cut. Got to go through here. Now the corner ahead of him is Copse. You got to lift a little bit through there. If not, you'll lose the rear end like you do at Abbey. Going to Copse now. He's able to make the corner without any spin or any oversteer. Now he's going to be going into Baggots. Now he's invalidated, hits the curb, and he's out.
Crash for Mitchie, the Rebel driver.
Unfortunate to see. Fortunate that's not been able to finish the hot lap, but that's something I have noticed that every time I've done a hot lap with someone, they've either invalidated or crashed out of the session. So it seems like the commentator Jinx is out for blood when I commentate. Trying to see for anyone that's on a lap now. Ardell's on a lap. As Walking Class is in the pit lane, I believe Catra's on her in the lap. No, she's on a lap time actually. I'm not sure. She's on a lap. Actually, yes, she is. Going through Copse now. But hey, Catra now. You see, she's not able to get any oversteer. Yes, she does. She lets get out of the throttle. Coming out of Copse now. Not able to get any oversteer. Now going through Maggots, going through Beckets now. Going down in 7th gear, you gotta break, go to 5th gear, Ness. Coming out of Beckett's without any crashes or any validation now. She passed the chopper curve, now she's on the hanger straight. Going into Stowe now, break at the 50 meter board, yes she does. Going to Stowe now. Now she is going into Val now. Breaks in between the 50 and 100 meter board. Once again, like expected, she gets a snap of oversteer. Does not get a good run through Club, and now she's back on the Hamilton Straight to finish her lap, which is a 28.5, which I believe was a banker.
27 flat from the Rebel driver. I was following him while you're commentating Catra, and like I thought you would, he won even faster. 27 flat for the Rebel driver. As Raw now starts his lap, I believe, actually.
Yes, and the gap to the leader for qualifying is Ardell, sets the fastest lap with a 27 flat, with Ron in P2, 6 tenths behind. Speaking of Ron, is on the lap now. Gary in the pit lane on the medium, 3 laps of mediums actually, 8 tenths adrift. Doggo in the pit lane on has currently equipped the new soft compound is second and 2/10 behind. Catcher in P5 on an air lap is on P5. Excuse me. On P5, a second and a half off, and Potato is also a second and a half off in P6. While the McLaren of Walking Chaos is on the outlap, as we will look to Ron. Going to Sector 2 now, I wasn't able to see the Sector 1 did. Was he able to improve in Sector 1, DXD?
I actually completely blanked. I was looking at the stream. Sorry about that.
Yeah, you are fine for that. I've done that multiple times myself while co-commentating, not in this league, but in other leagues. Ron through Maggots and Beckets looks clean. Now going into the hanger straight now. Seems like Ron has kept it clean, at least for now, as he's going into Stowe. Coming out of Stowe, and now we'll be going into Val. Going through Val now. He's looking clean. Will he get any snap of oversteer? No, he will not. Upshifts early to third. Not going through club, and he invalidates.
That was such an easy thing to do in that corner, because you have to cut it a little bit, and he just cut it a bit too much. But I think he can take some good from that lap. It was a 27-1 with the invalidation, and I'm pretty sure he lost some time cutting that curve. He got a bit on that red sausage curve, so he's definitely in contention for pole right here. And I think Gary, he's coming out of the pits right now. He's definitely in contention. That 27-8 on the medium, so he's still in the championship behind Ron and Ardell. I think he's definitely going to get our course this season.
Yes, and the McLaren of Walking Chaos has not set a lap time, at least so far in the session. Kept it clean to Sector 1 and actually set to purple Sector 2. I'm not sure if that is a game glitch or a legit purple, but we will have to see later on. Walking Chaos going through Stowe now, going into Val. Let's see if he invalidates like how Ron does. Keeps it clean through there, cuts the curb a little bit, keeps it valid. Now going through club now. He will set a lap time of a 26.8, so that purple Sector 2 was in fact legit, and now he is top of the session for 26.8, 2/10 clear BRL Ardell in the Red Bull.
Yeah, good pace from Walking Cage. We've seen that the past few races. He's been really good in qualifying, not so much in the races. He's had some bad luck and some just inconsistencies, but yeah, he's looking good so far. I think that Ardell and Ron have something else in the tank to try and get closer, but E-Doggo's just invalidated his lap, and Killer's invalidated his lap. Killer's invalidated a lot of his laps, actually. Like, if he doesn't hurry up, he might just have to do a one-shot quality in a sense and just do one flying lap, because he's done 6 laps on these tires. So maybe he's just doing some reconnaissance and just killing these tires. I don't know.
Probably doing some practice laps. I've done that at France. Doing some practice laps because my pedals actually broke for that race. Had to do like 8 or 9 laps on the mediums to get warmed up with the pedals. So I bet that's what Killer's doing, just getting some practice in, getting used to the car and the new adjustments probably, if I had to assume, for the Haas, for Killer. As I am looking at the new guy, Potato, in the Williams on his outlap now. Invalidated his outlap, which doesn't mean anything really. As I'm hoping that he won't crash or invalidate while I'm doing a hot lap with him, as I will be doing that. As he's going through Val now, keeping it clean, at least for the next lap. And now he will be coming across the stripe to start his lap now. On the Hamilton straight, let's see if he's able to keep it clean through Abbey. Yes, he is. He keeps it clean, revs it out in 7th gear, goes up in the 8th gear, makes it clean through the farm curve. Now going into Village, gets to clean out of the Village, going into the loop now. He's clean out of the loop, got to get a good run on the exit. Yes, he does. It's DRS on the the Wellington straight. Now he's going to be going into the Brooklands. He'll be braking after a little bit after the 50 board, in which he does. He makes it clean through Brooklands, going through the left field now. Is in 3rd gear and is keeping it clean for the moment. No validation or spin nor crash, which is good. His Killer F400 tires in the pit lane. Keeps it clean through left field now, going into Woodcut. Now it's going to be going into Copse here. Once again, you have to lift through there. Preferably go down the 7th gear, which he does. Keeps it clean through Copse. No validation nor spin, as he'll be going through Maggots now. Cannot get invalidate or hit the curb. Could see that with Mitchie. He keeps it clean through Maggots. Going through Beckets now. Keeps it clean. Now we're on the hanger straight, as he's kept it valid, as you saw so far in the lap, and is up 4/10 on his lap time, which will put him P5. Now, going through Stone now keeps it clean, gets on the grass a little bit, gets a good exit. Curve would be a little bit better, but will break between the 50 and 100 board. Keeps it clean through there, hits the curve a little bit. He is not able to hit that apex, and we'll get a good run out and going into Hamilton Straight, and he's P6 with I believe, a 28.3. Yes, I am correct.
Yeah, not a bad lap for Potato. Definitely can find some time, as you pointed out, through the lap. But P6 so far, not terrible. Just want to note, Taco hasn't set a lap yet. He's just not coming out of the pit, so he might just go for one-shot quality in a sense. Maybe he thinks he can really do something magical here just with one lap in this qualifying session.
Yep, I've noticed. I was about to point that out myself. As something we have not brought up yet is the championship standings going into Britain. Is I'll have to pull it up. League standings to 3. Yes, I'm pulling up right now. Unless you have it on your phone and can read it out for me.
I do.
Bringing up the Google Doc myself.
Ron Swanson, currently on 136 points in the Ferrari. He's leading the championship by 3 points from BRL in BRL Ardell. He's 133 points, 3 points off of Ron. Then you have Gary in the Mercedes on 111 points. He's only 25 points off Ron. That's just one race win and no points for Ron or Ardell in this race. So keep an eye on him for the race. Then you have Taco. He's had some bad luck these past few races. He's down to 93 points in the Aston Martin. And Hey Catcher, she joined at Monaco, and she's already up to P5 on 71 points. And then Mitchie behind is on 68. Kieran Evans, 64. Killer is on 42. Walking Chaos, 24. He should be getting some more points with that pace in qualifying. And Tyrrell Stig runs up the top 10 and 24 points, as now Taco is on a lap. I'll let you take care of that.
I'm currently looking at Hey Catcher right now. For the moment, CC's will set a purple. Actually, Ron is on a lap, and he's not improved to Sector 1 at all, and is basically borderline with his fastest lap right now, unless he can improve through Sector 2 and Sector 3. Keeps it clean through Maggots and Beckets, no validation, but can get a better exit through there, which will probably hamper his lap time, as now, while you're going off championship standings, and that's a yellow flag, actually. I believe that is the Williams of Potato getting out of Taco's way. Yes, it is. We'll keep it at full speed. And let's see what Ron will be able to do. He's drifting a little bit coming out of the exit, and he will set, and actually he improves to a 27.3, and qualifying is now over. So he's next to cross the line, and actually Yeetago's actually spun going into Val, and the next person to complete the lap time is Hey Catcher, and is actually 5/10 up on her lap time, which will put her at a 28 flat. Ooh,
still valid. That's a bit lucky.
Yeah, that is a bit lucky from the Alfa Romeo Racing Orlean driver. 5/10 up, which will put her at a 28 flat. So what she does here, she goes up P4 with a 27.5, and Taco is P6 with a 27.9. That is qualifying over for Itago, Taco, and Catcher. Gary's up 2/10, which will put him actually stay P5. So he'll be the next driver to finish the lap, keeping it through Maggots and Beckets. We'll hit the DRS on the Wellington Straight, as he sets a purple Sector 2, actually. I did not look at the sector time. Dixie, if you did 6/10 up, that will put him at 27.2 ahead of Ron, but behind Ardell. But keep going through now, Val clean, going in the club now. See what lap time he will be able to do. He'll come across the line and is P3 with a 27 flat. Next driver across the line is the McLaren, and he actually does not improve. And Ardell barely loses out. And that is qualifying over. That was very close between the Red Bull and the McLaren, and that is the McLaren of Walking Chaos setting the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Not the Grand Prix, of qualifying for the Grand Prix. Once again, if you saw in Austria, who set qualifying but had terrible luck in the race. Let's see if that will change going into the Grand Prix.
Yeah, good qualifying from just about everyone, I'd say. I think Ron will definitely be kicking himself He got a 27.3, but his invalid lap was a 27.1, so it wouldn't have improved his position, but he'll be kicking himself that he didn't set that good lap. But P4, I think that's a great result for him. He doesn't worry. He can take it a bit cautious in turn one. He don't have to defend his position that much, and hopefully he can just have a clean turn one, and all these drivers can have a good race. That's 9th time from 11 haven't set a lap, so I guess they just wanted to start from the back.
Unless your name is Mitchie, which he crashed out in qualifying.
So
did
yes.
Whiffy, so. So, going into the race now, what is your podium predictions for the dry Grand Prix?
I'm gonna go with Gary, Taco, Castro.
Yep, I agree with that podium 100%. As now we are loading into the Grand Prix, as I will check race director for the tires that all these drivers will be on. So it seems like Yeet Doggo will start on the mediums for setting a medium banker and not able to complete a soft lap time, as he will be the only driver on the medium. Actually, never mind. Mitchie, Whiffy, and Killer all decided to choose the medium, so the back four will be on the medium compounded tire, and everyone ahead of them will be on the soft compounded tire. So it seems like in the first stint, the soft guys will have the advantage, and the guys ahead of them will have the advantage in the first stint. So, actually, I said that twice. The guys in the back four will have the advantage in the second stint, and the guys ahead will have the advantage in the first stint. So we are now actually on the formation lap. So, Dixie, what do you expect to be going on in the race?
I think that strategy from the back four is very interesting. We saw it kind of worked for TTM John in the Mercedes and Realistic last night. He did the reverse strat, but then he got caught in that train with you and Taylor Quinn and Deer Hunter. So it's kind of like it can work, but you're gonna have to be really. You're probably gonna need like a second or two delta on the guy who you're trying to catch, especially for the win. If you're trying to do that, then you're gonna have to go along those mediums because the softs only last for about 8 laps until the pace starts to go off. So it's gonna be interesting. I definitely think they could be one to look out for, especially if say we had a safety car lap 3 or 4 or something. Then the soft runners will go to mediums, and I think actually if we do get a safety car on lap 4, then that might hurt the medium runners, and then they'll be caught out and have to pit again on those softs and be even farther back. So I don't know. Seems a bit risky in my opinion.
Sorry for interrupting you.
No, you're fine.
But thankfully you'll be able to finish that. As I've noticed is that the Haas is way off in the back. I wonder if he had a spin or was not able to go on the start of the formation lap. He's now trying his best to catch up, but I'll tell you that for sure, that his mediums are going to be warmed up to the fullest extent possible, as the McLaren is now going through Stowe. Now, excuse me, I've been having, I just have allergies right now. I can guess that y'all probably can tell, but I've had allergies right now, so I apologize if I clear my throat a lot in this Grand Prix. As now all the drivers will be going into AI mode, the lineup, and the McLaren of Walking Castle will be the first driver to line up on the grid. Now we are waiting.
I'm going to predict a spin in the first corner. I don't know who, but I'm just going to predict it now.
But now the McLaren of Walking Chaos has set his McLaren on the grid. Now we will be waiting on the Killer to line up on the medium compounded tire, which he has, as I will be going to Gary for the start, and it is 4 red lights, 5 red lights! And it is lights out, and away we go. The McLaren of Walking Chaos gets a good start, is able to beat off Ardell. It seems like everyone is staying in a stalemate for the moment. It's going through turn 1. That is an Alfa Romeo. Catcher off. Seems like everyone's kept it clean as there's a battle for P8 between Mitchie and Whiffy, and Whiffy dies for the move, and for P8 as Mitchie's able to stay ahead as Taco and the Aston Martin goes off a little bit. Now there's a scrap for P2 between Gary, Ardell, and Ron, and Ardell's been caught sleeping. I would have to guess is now Ron's gonna be looking for a move going in to track map, and that is. Yeah, I was about to note that as Mitchie's actually went off, and everyone behind them was able to pass him. As there's a battle going to the Copse between Potato and Taco, and Taco using the battery to stay ahead. And there's actually a battle going in the Copse between Killer and Whiffy, and Killer's actually able to get the move on Whiffy.
He had got him to about P8, I think, and then he made a little bit of contact with Heat Dog, and then that spun him around. But he's only 4 seconds off of the lead pack. Well, actually 5 seconds off of Walking Chaos. He already has a 1.5 second gap. So Itchy's not the worst race start. As Killer defends from Whiffy, that was a very good defense from the Hash Driver. And look at Potato, he's right behind Taco. Gonna try and go around the outside, catch the locks up in front of him, gonna set him off. Taco's gonna cut back in front of him and get the position. That was a very good defensive maneuver from Taco, and that puts him back to the P6. Now LeBron is right behind Ardell.
Yep, as I said earlier, in qualifying, this track will be very hard at the pass. So Ardell actually gets oversteered. I was barely able to capture that, and Ardell breaks. Zeron breaks very late, which actually caught him out, and if he didn't take evasive action, he would have hit the rear end of Ardell and would have given wing damage, but he did take evasive action, and now Ron in the Ferrari, only 5/10 behind Ardell in the Red Bulls. Hey Captura in the sister team, excuse me, is only 3/10 adrift from Ron, as Ron actually misses the corner through there, going into Copse now. Now, actually not going to Copse right now, we're about to though. As going through Copse now, it seems like everyone is stayed even with each other for the moment, as Taco goes wide and so does Potato. Seems like Copse is already catching drivers out a little bit.
Yeah, looking out for both drivers. No warnings for either of them for that little. Oh, this Taco gets on the grass a little bit, but no warnings yet for those two drivers. And Chaos, look at him. He almost has a 2-second gap already in only lap 2. So this is definitely looking similar to his previous races where he has really good pace, and hopefully this time around he won't make any crucial mistakes.
Yeah, and it seems like he's almost already about to break the 2-second threshold, which he has. So if I'm these guys of Gary and Ardell, I'm hoping that Walking Chaos starts racking up on these penalties. That way I'll bring them right back into the race. And now after lap 3, the DRS, the drag reduction system, now enabled, which will give you an extra 10 kilometers, which is 5 miles an hour if you're American. So, yeah, us Americans don't understand what kilometers is because we're special. As Ardell will get DRS on Gary, and Gary does not have any DRS, so like we said before, the DRS train, it's already forming.
Yep, and this is only going to help Chaos. They may be DRSing up each other, but they're stuck in such a slower pace compared to Chaos. And look at Chaos. He's at that 90% ERS, and Gary's already down to 50. So walking is just having an easy time right now. So he just can't make any mistakes and just try his best to pull away. As Killer gets past Potato around the outside of Copse. I think Potato might have lifted there, but still good move from the Hash Driver to try to gain on his top 6.
Yeah, 100%. As Killer will be the driver that benefits from this DRS train the most, in my opinion, because he's now in the DRS train of all these guys ahead of him. Seems like Gary does not have the DRS, Ardell does. Seems like Ardell's going to be looking on the outside, maybe gets the switchback going into Val. No, they will not, as Whiffy and Heat Doggo has been going at it. Oh, Gary looking for not Gary, Ardell's been looking for a launch in this contact, and that sends Ron off.
She's up to P2. Gary has the lift. Ron is off, like you said. Oh my god, Ardell, no! The two championship contenders collide. And look at that. Gary is now fighting Taco for P3. Taco's looking at the inside. Cash is on the outside. They're going 3 wide now. Be careful, boys. I don't know about this. Killer's on the outside of all 3 of them. He's going to try and go around the outside. He's got to. Look at Taco.
Oh, this contact
again. Killer's going to go off the track. That might be a warning. He might have been removed. Here comes the Williams Potato. It's his debut race, and he's now trying to get up to P3. He's going to go around this side.
That's 4 wide.
Oh my gosh. I am sorry, headphone users. And now Potato's at the P3. But Killer's back. He's on the mediums. He doesn't have to fight this hard. He's already in a great position. And he's using his ears just a little bit. But Potato is up to P3. I am so sorry, headphone users. But I had to use all my energy because that was amazing.
Yeah. Except for the Ardell and Ron collision, as I believe Ron has wheel damage going through Copse, which is very unfortunate for him. But in my opinion, That will be sent to the Stewards Inquiry. I believe that was a little bit optimistic from the Red Bull BRL, which, yeah, Ron has wing damage. He will be having to come in the pit lane. So I can see that his wing is actually chipped a little bit. So, and they're going at it once again as Ardell gets a 3-second time penalty between Gary and Killer. I would not recommend going side by side through here, because I was the one that actually got the short end of the stick from it. As now they're going in the Val, and Killer's actually being passed by Potato, and Killer outbreaks Potato as Killer gets a snap.
Loses the car. Oh, he's off. Sorry to cut you off, but I was on board, and he lost the car, and he just lost 3 positions there. Oh, his Potato gets a penalty for exceeding track limits, and that's going to hurt his race. His Killer's going all over the place a little bit, trying to get past Gary. Wow, what a hectic 2 laps. You have Ron, Swanson, and Ardell both in the pits.
Yeah, as Ardell got a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane, as Killer will not be using the battery to get around Gary, as he saw the racing that happened just now, really not really pushing the envelope. As soon as I say that, he's going to be looking for a move on the outside, coming out of Woodfield and coming out of Woodcut now, going into Copse. Seems like everyone in this DRS train just decided to go at it for a lap or two, as Taco almost trying to look for the outside of Woodfield going in the Copse, and he's still looking for a move. Got a little bit of understeer and lift off and was not able to get anything done. As going through Maggots and Beckets now,
Potato!
Killer's gonna look.
I think Potato may have made a bit of contact with Killer's rear end and stuck into a bit of a half spin. Nothing intentional. Killer gets past Gary. Simple move. Look at Gary. He's down to 10% ERS. Everyone else is at 60% and above. So it's going to be. He just needs to start recovering his battery as much as he can. And Chaos, he has an 8-second gap already.
Yeah, I was literally about to say that.
Potato and Taco. And Richie's up the inside. There's a bit of contact between Taco and Potato. And Potato's looking for a move. He wants it with his back. He's fighting for his life here. He's got to back out, and you might get a warning for that. That's the scare you have in turn 1. It's very risky, and he has to back out. Look at Katra. She's up to P5. 100% ERS, or P4. Oh, he loses the rear end a little bit, but he's still there. And like I said, Katra has plenty of ERS, and she can pass Gary whenever she wants to, really.
Yes, Potato is looking for a move on Taco once again. Taco does not have any DRS and just lets Potato through. As while we were talking about that 8-second gap, is actually almost flirting to be 7 seconds now. So it seems like the mediums are already kicking in, and that's a yellow flag for Yeet Doggo, which is unfortunate. Right next to the wall, that will have to be wing damage, unless he only got right next to it and never hit it. So it seems like the mediums.
Sorry to cut you off, but Katra going side by side. Gary lets her through.
Yeah, thank you actually for cutting me off there. I was about to miss a battle between Gary and Katra. And now it seems like there's another DRS train somewhat. Not as big as before, but still a DRS train between Katra, Gary, and Woofy. So it seems like all these medium runners, except for Yeet Doggo, definitely benefited from all the scraps from lap 2, lap 3, and lap 4. Yeah, and actually, speaking of medium runners, Woofy will be looking for a move on Gary. And that's not contact. Yeah, that was close. As Katra and Taco are both in the pit lane for probably the undercut, as Woofy gets a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits, and so does Gary. That will be absolutely crucial for this race for Katra and Taco and Woofy and all these guys, and Mitchie as well.
Yep, Taco comes in, he's got to change his wing, so that's unfortunate for the Aston Martin driver. It's not his day.
Yeah, that is not his day, that is for sure. As seems like unless there's a safety car, I believe Taco and Ardell will be having to battle for like P7, P8, and P9.
Yeah, Gary,
very
by the way,
unfortunate.
Yeah, Gary has to pit. He's just lost a position to Woofy. Now Mitchie's going to the inside, and those slots are dead. He has 20% ERS. He needs to pit because he might get undercut by the likes of Katra and Katra, because Taco had to pit and change his wings. So, I think it's up to Katra really. She just has to use his mediums on her outlet now, because looking at the undercut, it does kind of work, but you need at least like a 2-lap buffer from the guy you're trying to pass on track to make those mediums really work well.
Yeah, definitely. It's something Katra has to her advantage. It's her battery, basically at 100%. I was going to say 100%, but Katra started using it a bit while you were talking. As it seems like Mitchie definitely has the pace on the mediums, as now he's up to P4, able to recover 5 seconds as Gary is actually in for the pit lane, like you said that he needs to do, and now he is in the pit lane for mediums. So let's see where Catcher will end up ahead of Gary. As that's a yellow flag, that is the AlphaTauri of Yeet Doggo, which is in the wall. Unfortunate for the AlphaTauri driver.
And here comes Nardell. He's looking for a move on Taco. They're going side by side. Maybe. No, he's going to have to back out. Oh, getting a bit of contact. Not what you like. He's still on the ERS, even mid-corner. He's really kind of wasting it, if you ask me. But I'm not the guy in Tier 3, and I'm not the guy leading the championship in Tier 3. So he's got to do what he wants to do. And right now, he's going to try and get this position. He has a penalty. 8 seconds. He has 8 seconds over time penalties. So it's a tough race for the championship leader here.
The penalties for now is Whiffy in the Ferrari, 3 seconds, Potato in the Williams, 3, Gary, 3, Ardell, like you said, 8, and Yeet Doggo, 3. So it seems like half of these drivers in the grid so far have time penalties, as Ardell will be using the battery to get around Taco, and I don't believe he will have the space. Oh, he's looking for it, and that's a big dive. Taco will not be having any of it. They're going wheel to wheel in the woodcut now. Ardell, I believe, which will have the switchback. Yes, he does. He's using the battery. Will he be looking for a move on the outside of Copse? Taco not using the battery, but Ardell does. They're going to go side by side through Copse. Who will back out? And neither of them are, and Ardell is able to get around the outside of Taco Man and the Aston Martin for P9.
Yeah, very good move from the Bravo driver, but Taco's got way more ERS than Ardell, so he could make the move he wants. If he's on the button now, he's off. I think he might just stick behind the Rebel driver and just try and follow him. It's really up to him. Ardell goes defensive, and Taco looks for it, but I think he might just want to stick behind. His catches is his fastest lap. Look what I told you. She's going to use those mediums now, and she's using them. Fastest lap, 2/10. Already gained 2/10 on Walking Chaos this fastest lap.
Yeah, which will be absolutely crucial in this Grand Prix, because if Walking Chaos stays out for too long, Catra may be on the rear gearbox of Walking Chaos if she's able to beat her fastest lap after lap, and preferably Walking Chaos' fastest lap, as if Killer is still gaining on Walking Chaos. He's already gained over as he actually gets on the grass a little bit. Gets a little bit on the exit and was on the grass, which will lose him a 10th or so. But like I said, already in the span of 5 laps, Killer's already cut off a second of Walking Chaos' gap.
Yeah, he's been consistently gaining like 5/10 in the past 3 laps on Chaos. Chaos's pace isn't terrible on those softs. He's at 30.9, and I think Killer's actually improving on this lap if the deltas are correct. Yes, he is.
Yes, he is.
30 flat, so he just gained 8/10 that lap. So Chaos I don't really know why he's staying out so long. Oh, his Taco spun off. I don't know if there's conflict between him and Ardell, but he is spun off at Copse, so as Potatoes in the pits. But unfortunate for Taco, he's just not had any luck these past 2 races, and it continues. He's just had a very bad string of luck.
Yep.
But yeah, look at Killer. 6.5 seconds now, and he's just matching his first sector times already. So I don't know why Walking is staying out so long. Maybe he's hoping for a safety car. I don't think we're going to get one unless, God forbid, Mitchie and Whiffy collide. But as he gets a 3-second
time penalty.
That's not going to help this race. I don't know why he's staying out so long. There's really no point. The mediums crossover, like a 10-lap pressure medium, but it won't really matter because it's Silverstone. It's not going to help this race at all.
Yep. And if Killer is gaining at this rate, just imagine Catra's gain, as we will be looking for the gap for the leader. Catra is actually down 2/10.5 on her fastest lap time. As Catra is only 38 seconds behind Walking Chaos. Walking Chaos is actually in the pit lane right now, so we will have to see the gap between Catra and Walking Chaos, which was around 10 seconds. So we're gonna see how much Catra has actually gained on Walking Chaos.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see what the gap is. I just want to point out the gap between Walking Chaos and Mitchie before the pit stop was 13 seconds, so it's going to be interesting. I think, as Potato was at time, I think it's going to be very interesting what these medium riders can do, as I believe, who's fighting right now? That's Gary and Potato. No move yet from the Mercedes, but he's definitely looking to get past the Williams driver.
Yep. As Catcher is now on the Hamilton straight now. Let's see how far behind Catcher is from Walking Chaos. And it is...
About 8 seconds.
It's about 8 seconds. Actually, no gain, unless Catcher had a wing change. I'm not sure.
No, she did not.
She did not, so it seems like it's actually stayed the same. So I believe Killer has just had... Oh, no!
No. No wing damage, but yeah, that's gotta hurt. He was doing so well.
That is not gonna help at all. As I was actually gloating about Killer just now, as commentator Jinx is struck once again, excuse me. So it seems like I shouldn't bring up drivers that I want to gloat about unless I want something bad to happen to them, which I absolutely do not want to happen. To happen. So it seems like commentators Jinx is just really a deadly thing in league racing, I guess, or just racing in general. So, currently there is a battle for the lead and P7 between Gary and Potato. Potato on the fresher. Gary by only 2 laps. Gary does not have the DRS, but Potato does. Is actually the leaders as of right now, Woofy and Mitchie, are actually on the Hanger Straight. No, Wellington Straight, excuse me. As will Mitchie be looking for a move. He's going to be... Oh, that's contact! Woofy's in a half spin. He corrects it. What a save.
That's not what they needed. Even if there's no damage, it's definitely not great.
Yeah, which is not great because all this is helping is Walking Chaos. Walking Chaos is only 8 seconds of drift from Killer now.
Yeah, he's only 14 seconds off the lead. And with the has 3 seconds, Mitchie doesn't, so Mitchie might be able to do something. Gets on those softs and just pushes like a madman and gets within 3 seconds, so never say never.
Yeah, never say never, because if you basically say never in league racing, that just basically means that you just given up. If you give up, then probably you won't be doing good. As Mitchie is trying still to make a move on Woofy, but under the contact, I believe Mitchie will be just as aggressive. I believe he'll be less aggressive just by a little bit. As actually a battle of P7 right now between Potato and Gary's been continuing on. Potato, excuse me, has been gaining a little bit on Gary for a while. Gary, yes. On Chaos, it's the fastest lap of the Grand Prix for 28.8. So that shows that he has more pace on the mediums, which I'm not really surprised about. He has more grip on the mediums compared to the softs at the start of the Grand Prix. As Potato was able to go around Gary for P7.
Yeah, good move for Potato. Gary was really struggling with DRS. He's using it still, but he just needs to try to conserve some and just follow Potato. He's going to get stuck behind Ron for a little bit. Ron's tires are only, 5 laps older than Potatoes, but 3 laps older than Gary, so they both have penalties, so I don't think Ron really fights them all that much. He doesn't have to. He can just let them go through and just follow them and maybe catch up to Catcher. Who knows?
Yes, who knows? So we're on lap 13 at the British Grand Prix, officially halfway. 12 laps completed, currently on lap 13, as Mitchie will be maybe looking for a move here. He's on the battery, definitely has the battery advantage against Woofy. And Woofy's on 40, Mitchie is on 95, not 95, 90, excuse me, as he's not able to get a move on Woofy. So it seems like for the moment, Mitchie is hanging on the back of Woofy until he has a good run or is close enough to make the move.
Yeah, this is the problem I'm trying to notice with this medium tire to soft tire strategy. Is look at the gap to Chaos has still leader. It's only 11 seconds. It was 14 seconds when he came out the pits, so it's not looking so good for the medium runners, and they still have to go another 2 or 3 laps before they can pit and make the soft tires useful. And meanwhile, 6, 7, and 8 are having a real fun time. I think this is going to be a battle for the rest of the race, if I'm honest with you.
Yep. I agree with you between the P6, P7, and P8 battle, which will be absolutely crucial for this championship. In fact, none of the guys here for the championship, Ali so far has been doing good. Either they have no pace or just unfortunate circumstances. As Ron is in P6, does not have any DRS, but Potato does. Will Potato be looking for a move?
Yes,
Down the inside, yes he does, and that's contact!
Oh. But I think Potato let him through. Now Gary's up the inside. Oh. I don't think they made contact, but yeah, I think Potato immediately knew what he did was wrong and just let Ron back to his good sportsmanship between the drivers, and Potato just keeps his head down and gets past him in no time, I'm sure.
Yeah, with that contact, there is a chance that Ron may have gotten side pod damage because of that, because F1 in this game actually added a whole bunch of new damage models, which is side pod, body floor, rear wing, and all that, so you gotta be even more clean now. You can't afford any contact, which I'm glad they added, as Gary has DRS. He does not have any battery at all whatsoever, though, as he's not able to get a move because of that. Ron is sitting below 20. If you're below 20, then you will start flashing. Excuse me, I'm having a hard time tonight. Allergies are really kicking in right now, as the flash behind your rear gearbox indicates that you have below 20% battery, which will be basically great news for the guys behind you, unless you're the likes of Gary that also do not have below 20% on their battery.
Yeah, it's a little bit hurting Gary's race. Quick note, some of the chant BRL fan wanted the pens to be shown, so he would do that in the meantime. But yeah, like you were saying, Gary, he really just needs to start setting his DRS. It kind of reminds me of Tier 2, Season 5. I never saved my DRS. I just burned, and it didn't work. But he's matching on DRS level now, so he might go to make a move next straight. Let's look at the top 3 now. Killer's caught back up. He might still have a chance at this maybe even a podium.
Mitchie's in, and so is Killer.
That was aggressive. Oh, yep. No contact there. A little worried there for a second.
Yeah, as I've showed the penalties, we will go back to the tire on the detail. As Walker Copse will 100% retake P3 and P2, and yes, he does now.
Here comes Gary up the inside.
There's no contact. Ron looking for a switchback, maybe? No, he's not, and we'll settle behind Gary. I believe Phantom is actually engineering for Ron, if I have to take a guess, and that's why Ron did not fight it so hard and actually let Gary through, because he knows that he has 6 seconds. The chances are slim to none. It goes out to a 6 second gap.
Oh, pretty close.
He's gonna be ahead.
Oh yeah, Mitchie will be ahead, and they've got. Look at that. The tires are just. This is the benefit now of the medium soft runners is now they have plenty of tires to just get past these medium runners and blast past them.
Yeah, DRS will be absolutely crucial now for like Gary and Ron. Ron does not have any time penalties. Neither does Mitchie. So it seems like Mitchie will have the tire advantage. But Gary does not have time penalties advantage to his name. Only Mitchie and Ron does. And actually Killer as well. Killer's actually barely outside, barely in now the DRS of Ron and Gary. And Killer actually gained 3/10 as Whiffy is now in the pit lane for now and will allow Walking Copse to re-inherit the lead.
Yeah, I was wondering when Whiffy would pit, but he's going to pit now. It'll be interesting to see if he comes out ahead of Mitchie and Killer. I know Killer got held up in the pits by Mitchie actually, so good strategy from Rebel there. As Whiffy now bolts on the sauce, he's coming out of the pits in probably about 5 seconds time. I just want to shout out Kasha. She's in P2, so very good race from her. She pitted, she did the undercut by about 2 laps, and now she's clear in front in second, 12 seconds behind the leader. And here comes Whiffy.
Oh, it's gonna be close.
Killer made contact with Brawl, going side by side now. Brawl's gonna try around the outside.
Oh, that's contact!
Oh, it's such a shame. I'm not a steward, but I think that's just unfortunate. We'll see if that's reported to the stewards, but that's just very unfortunate. Very unfortunate indeed.
Yeah, it seemed like Ron was on the grass and had to come down to avoid getting a warning or even a time penalty. And I believe he didn't see Killer, but you will always have to check your mirrors to see if you're allowed to move down like that. Oh! I don't even know where he's at. Oh, that's in left field in Woodcut now. And they're confused. I'm like, where is he at? I'm just like, how did he go? I was like, curious in where he was. Like, where is he? As Killer actually gets a huge run on Potato, will he be looking for a move from Maggots? And Beckets, no, he will not. As Potato gets another 3-second time penalty. As Killer gets a huge snap.
I think Woofy might make a move here around the outside of Gary.
Yes, he does.
Right side, no contact. Oh, very close.
They're going to keep it clean.
Back out. He's going to go around the outside. He wants to keep this position. Oh, bit of contact with 31. They're still side by side, but Woofy just about gets the position. Very good racing from both these drivers. Look at Ron. He's at the P6. He's right there, no pens. Both drivers ahead of us. As Woofy gets another penalty. That's crucial. It's going to help Ron out big time because Ardell's in P9 and Taco P10.
Speaking of Ron, he had a huge snap obviously after hitting that curb. I saw his wheel go dead left because of it. I'm glad to see that he was not able to get a crash after that snap of oversteer. So I will believe, with the way how it stands, if there's an empty safety car, I believe this will be Mitchie's first podium of the season here in Tier 3. I will have to check myself unless you have it up still and can check it for me.
I do not. I got rid of it.
Alright, so
I'll check for you.
I'm getting it pulled up, but as while I'm waiting for that, it seems like the only battle in the field right now is between Gary and Woofy for P4, and that's actually Mitchie!
Oh
the
no!
Commentator's jeans!
I was just about to say it. He has 2 podiums this season, and he had a chance at 3, but he's off, almost in the same corner as he was in qualifying. Oh my gosh. No safety car though, he's off the track, so yeah, I guess it's a bit lucky for Kasha and Walking Chaos because Woofy's right there on those softs, so that's very unfortunate for Mitch. He was having a great race on the reverse track.
Yeah, the same spot he crashed out in qualifying as Potato gets another 3-second time penalty. As he has actually 15 now, as Killer sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix by 28.5, so it seems like he has, like his name, Killer F1 pace. Let's say to make a little little pun right there. As it seems like only a battle right now is between Woofy and Gary. They both have 6 seconds to their name. As of right now, Ron will actually take that P3 position with Mitchie being out of the Grand Prix. He will be on the bottom set of the podium, Petra P2, and Walking Chaos P1.
Yeah, that'll be Ron's 4th podium in a row if everything goes on capture for 3 seconds. That's her first penalty of the race, but it shouldn't matter as long as things go swimmingly for the rest of the race. Woofy goes a bit wide. But yeah, 4 podiums in a row for Ron. And he'll definitely take that, considering where his championship brawls are.
100%. As there is a chance. If I'm Ron, after knowing that contract with Killer, there is still a chance that he will get a penalty for that collision. I'm not any steward. I'm not going to say my opinion on it on stream because it may be a little bit controversial. It depends which side you are on for it, as there is a chance that he may get a penalty. So it's still not, you need to keep it calm. Well, it would be lovely if he would be able to keep it calm, but there is still that chance of him having the need to push to grow a gap over Killer. Because if Ron does get handed a penalty, that will put Killer P5 and provisionally P3 as of right now.
Yeah, that incident is very unfortunate. It could have huge implications on these race results after the race is over. But yeah, like you said, the only real fight right now is just Gary and Woofy, and maybe Killer if he can catch up within a second of Ron, which he seems to be doing on those stops.
Yep. So there's still that chance of penalty. Like I said, at least for the moment. Oh, that's Potatoes off. Is that a DNF? No, it is not.
He just got a bit squirrely, and now Taco's right behind Ardell. I was gonna say that was the other fight, maybe. And now it's between Taco and Ardell, and maybe Potato if he can catch back up. His tires are 3 laps younger than Taco's, and another 2 to Ardell, so he could catch up and have a 3-way fight.
Yep, so it seems like, oh, that's another yellow flag. That was Potato. Unfortunate for him, as if he wants, well, everyone gets points now, but the Mitchie DNF. But, oh, never mind. That is her retirement on track, actually.
Oh no. Oh, it's Taco right behind Ardell now. She's gonna look for a move. Got the DRS. He's not even using the DRS. He's just gonna try and get past Ardell. Ardell's using it. He's not gonna make a move yet.
Oh, if he's stuck, that's Taco P7.
That's such a shame.
But it really doesn't matter because Ardell has a 5 for speeding in the pit lane unless it does get removed. So I would still race Ardell like he's gonna get that removed. So I do that every time. I do that every time when someone has a 5. I believe that they will take them off, even if they don't. If they don't, then I believe that's just after the race. So no point in me in saying my opinion on that. As Taco very deep going into the. Oh, I already forgot the name. I've got the track map pulled up, so.
It's fine.
Yes, it is fine. Everything's fine. What are you eating over there, DXD? It sounds good.
I got some Fritos over here. So I'm kind of hungry.
Yeah, I can tell with the way you're like grabbing that bag of chips. It sounded like popcorn for a second. I was about to be happy if it was. But Fritos, it's still the same. Even if it's not, it is. But so
yeah, it's corn, so it's fine. It's still popcorn.
It's fine. Yeah, it's corn, so it's technically popcorn. But we always find a way to make popcorn the same to every food, so don't worry. So anyway, the battle for P7 between Ardell and Taco is still going on. And Taco very deep. That was close. As Taco has
car control.
Yeah, that was impressive. As Ardell has 35. Actually, they're going wheel to wheel going in the Stowe. Let's see if they keep it clean. That was close. Ardell shut the door.
Very good racing.
Ooh, that's close if he did or not. And yes, he does shut the door, and Taco goes deep in the brake and locks up, and will have to avoid Ardell, and Ardell gets to live another day.
Yeah, very clean racing from two championship rivals. Although Taco seems to be jumping back race by race. If he died in the pace of 3 seconds, he's also on the pits. He might still pass his lap. All we know, so yeah, good racing between these two for sure.
Yep. Seems like Killer is actually in the DRS of Ron Swanson. Seems like Ron has made a mistake, and now Killer is waiting in the wings for another mistake, or he just has the pace advantage on the softs compared to the mediums. So it seems like Killer will be getting around Ron unless something happens very shortly. G Doggo is in fact on the soft, so he'll be going for a fastest lap attempt.
Yeah, I think Ron should probably let Killer through. Killer has 5 lap-old tires. Ron has 19 lap-old mediums. And Ron is gonna maybe get passed by Killer right here. Yes, he will. Just about. Yeah, he will. So I think if he really wanted to, he could just let Killer through and just follow him. He'll be catching the 2 in front. And I think he'll be fine with taking a P4, if not a podium. So he'll still gain points. So in the end, I think it's a good result for him.
Yep. Definitely the race that all the championship protagonists have had between Gary, Ron, Ardell, and Taco. And very soon we will include the Alfa Romeo driver, Hey Patra, with the way she's been going. And that is a yellow flag of Taco, actually. Did Ardell and Taco have a collision, maybe?
Looking in the chat, I hear someone saying I should do a nom nom nom, so I will do it. There we go.
There we go. Our weekly joke for Tier 3. We need a series for that. And we've had traditions. Let's go. So it seems like there's actually the battle for P3 is actually heating up more now between Whiffy and Gary, and very soon that will include the Haas of Killer with his pace advantage on the softs compared to the mediums. Whiffy is actually on the softs and Gary's on the mediums, so it seems like both of these drivers have a pace advantage, but with the DRS, Whiffy is not able to been getting away from Gary.
Yeah, Gary's just sticking up behind him. Like we said earlier, the mediums are very good race car around here, and Whippy doesn't seem to have that ultimate pace he needs to bridge that 1 second gap. And Killer's slowly starting to catch up. Give it a few more laps, he might be able to do it, but he's running out of time. 24 of 26. As Whippy gets another 3-second time penalty.
Yep, that will not help him out whatsoever. as that will actually put Gary P3 if he does not get a 3-second time penalty for extending track limits. Is speaking of DRS, Killer is only 3/10 adrift from it, so seems like as long as he's able to keep his pace up, as actually they're going wheel to wheel ahead of Killer. Gary and that's a half spin. He's able to keep him. Oh no! That was very close as Killer was able. I'm my very own squirrel moment there, like how Mitchie did in Children at France, as that will be added to the squirrel collection for the Breakout Racing League, and I'm happy to be in that compilation now, as that helped Ron 100%, as that will also be a Stewart inquiry if I had to take a guess between Gary and Whippy, so it's still, everything is still up in the air for where everyone finishes. If Gary gets a 5, that will still put Killer and Ron ahead, but still with that Killer and Ron contact, that still may be a Stewart. If Ron gets another 5-second, it won't matter, which will keep him there. So it seems like Killer and Ron places are locked, but we're not sure about Gary's either.
Those two drivers, but that's racing, I guess. You know, sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you get extremely unlucky, like we just saw there. But I think it's only going to help Killer and Ron even more. That's less pressure for them. And Ardell, he's in the pits. Actually, going for fastest lap.
He most likely will be going for a fastest lap attempt, which will be absolutely crucial for the championship, as El Taco will actually get ahead of him, which will be, I believe Taco will get 4 points in P7. Someone will have to correct me on that if I am wrong. It's either 4 or 3. If I have to take a guess,
P7 is 4 points. Yes.
Yes, I am correct. So 4 points. Taco will get 4 points. Ardell, for the moment, will have 2 unless he gets fastest lap, which will be 3. So it seems like we have a fastest lap attempt with
Chaos
Ardell.
crosses the line. He's doing a bit of weaving, celebrating the final lap of the race. He's definitely commanded this race beautifully. Although Lewis Hamilton, gotta say, he's had a great race.
Yep. So it seems like we haven't focused on walking Chaos this whole race. He's kept it clean. Has had this race on total lockdown, really. So it seems like as long as he's finishing the lap, he will win this Grand Prix. So we are focusing for the battle for the podium between Gary, Killer, and Ron. As it stands, it will be Killer P3, Ron P4, not Killer P5, Gary P5. So it seems like Ron's podium streak will have to come to an end unless something changes, as Killer's actually on the rear guard box of Gary. Let's see if Gary will let him through, as no, they will be not. They're going to be going for it, going into left field. They're going wheel to wheel as they're going through. Ron on the inside! Ooh, that was very close between the 3 drivers. Seems like Killer was able to get it through, but not Ron and Gary. They're still going wheel to wheel, and the Copse, will they give up? Seems like Ron will give Gary the position. Oh, they're going wheel to wheel in the Copse, and Ron gives Gary to position. His walking cast gets another 3-second.
It won't matter. He's coming up to the final corner now. He's led basically almost every lap bar at the pit stops, and he comes across the line to win the race. He slows down for dramatic effect, and he wins.
Yep, as Catcher will be coming across the line, as we will be focusing on the battle for P3. So it seems like that battle is over. Catcher will be coming across the line to finish P2 in Alfa Romeo for the I'm having a stroke. Stroke compilation for me, as Killer will be coming across the line in P3, Gary P4, Ron P5, as we will be having to wait a little while as Killer gets the podium in P3, Ron P4, Gary P5, as Woofy will be coming across the line to get P6. And the Ferrari Taco in P7 will be waiting for Ardell. He's actually only 5 tenths up on his fastest lap, as we will be seeing the fastest lap. For this race, Ardell. No, he actually does not. His fastest lap is a 30.1. Fastest lap is a 28.5. He needs more than a Needs more than that. So he's using all of his battery, which will not help him out whatsoever. Taco finishes P7 now, so Martin, let's see if Ardell will be able to secure the fastest lap. Ardell gets a 3-second time penalty while trying to get the fastest lap. Comes across the line now, and he does get the fastest lap, 27.8, which will give him 3 points, which will be absolutely crucial in the championship. Heat Doggo and AlphaTard will get P9. No matter how bad of a race you have gotten here in the British Grand Prix, as long as you finished it, you've gotten points. And Heat Doggo very slow to cross the line for dramatic effect, like you said, comes across the line, and that will conclude the British Grand Prix for Tier 3. Nice to be able to get our podium sitters in here. As driver of the day goes to Killer F1 in the Haas. As what do you think of that Grand Prix? I honestly like that British Grand Prix. A lot of overtakes, but a lot of contact as well, which will be 100% be in the stewards.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty good race, and kind of boring for the fight for the win, because Chaos was just doing Chaos things without any mistakes this time. So I also think Cash did a good job, but I think the podium fight was definitely the highlight of the race for me. It was consistent, and it was good to see that good fight. Unfortunate for Ardell and Taco again, but all the merrier for Ron. He gets even more points on his championship rivals.
Yep, and Walking Chaos will not be able to do interviews due to the fact that it is basically midnight his time, which will be unfortunate. So every time he's on the podium, we will not have him. Now we are waiting for the American of Hecatra, and I believe the Colombian of Killer F1 to get in the party. That way we're able to do interviews, as there is Hecatra in the Alfa Romeo driver. Now we are waiting for Killer to get in the podiums, unless he cannot do interviews as well. Awkward silence, I can tell. Now I'll be waiting for the game to load the showroom. That way I'm able to do interviews. Unfortunately, we will not have, once again, like I said, the winner, the McLaren of Walking Chaos, in the podium. Alright. As I am ready. So at least we will give Killer a minute to join, unless he cannot, and which will only be captured in the Alfa Romeo and P2 for the do interviews. Dixie, how did you think of that race? As I was able to say my opinion on it while we wait for Killer.
That was a fun race.
Yeah, I can tell you're eating Fritos.
Like Austria? Yeah. Yeah, it was good. I had fun, as usual. It was fun, yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Let's go to the next track.
Oh, next track. Actually, next week, the BRL Breakout Racing League will not be doing any races due to the fact that it's Thanksgiving. Hallelujah, you get to spend time with family and be able to give thanks to everything you can. Really, that's the point of Thanksgiving, no duh. Able to feast with your family, like turkey and all that, so I'm excited for Thanksgiving. So, I am... So, I think at 9:15 EST, if Killers aren't in here, we will just go on with interviews, which will just be, once again, the P2 of Fairycatcher.
I have some very sad news. I finished my Fritos, and I think we should conduct the interviews now.
Devastating for the Fritos, and actually, you are correct, XD. As hey, only podium sitter today able to do interviews. Not for Romeo. Hey, Catcher P2. We didn't talk about you much, but once we did, it was about your consistency, which is absolutely key. with the momentum you've been going towards, you're going to be in the championship battle very shortly. Katra, what do you think of the race and your consistency for the championship?
Well, it's going to be a difficult task to go for the championship. These guys are pretty quick, and it's going to be difficult for me to gain time on them. Thankfully, I did finish, I think, out of everyone in the championship fight, I did finish out of all of them the highest, so that could help out a little bit, but that 60-point cap or whatever it is, it's still going to be a little bit too tall to manage over, but thankfully there's still 14 races to go, so after the break, hopefully, I'll make another charge. My consistency, that's really all it needs to be. Pace has not really been there every single week, but as long as I can stay on the track, keep away from any penalties or any possibilities of, I guess, mistakes, of crashes, of any kind of, put in a sense, risky maneuvers, it's really going to help out. For example, I'm not sure if you guys caught that on the stream, but I was really thankful, I guess in the spirit of Thanksgiving, to go 4 wide down the Wellington Straight, so that was great. But
yeah, I saw that.
I backed out of that and trying to make sure that nothing went wrong, and a couple corners later it did, so yeah, that's one thing I kind of do pride myself on. But the pace is not there, but I'll try to bring it to the guys, especially Chaos. The guy was quick, that he was at another level.
Yeah, I do agree that Walking Chaos was just really dominating the race, really putting Tier 3 on notice with his pace. If he's able to fix up his mistakes, you can say, and get good luck on his side, he may be on a charge for the guys in Tier 3. So we'll have to be on the lookout for him. As DXD, do you have any questions for Hekatra?
Yeah, what was the highlight of your race?
The highlight of my race had to have been watching everyone decombust in front of me. That was just great. I don't like to say it or put it that way, but that's basically what happened. I was just kind of there, as you say. I mean, you guys didn't talk about me much. That's what you said yourself. So, I mean, that's a good thing. I don't want to have my name mentioned unless it's for something good. And even then, I'd rather not have my name mentioned regardless, because usually it's
last week. Yeah, last week I said your name and like you immediately spun. So
yeah,
nice job
with that. But
yeah, we both
we both have a way with words.
We both have our ways to be mad at each other. In the NASCAR league, you moved me out of the way for the win. And
oh,
I'm so mad about that. I'm so mad about that. You can't say it's my fault for that, bro. That's what bumping around the OP.
But regardless, back to what you were asking me. Yeah, basically just the move between Gary and Ardell, that collision with Ron as well, which is unfortunate for all three of those guys. They were pretty quick. And definitely that 3 and 4 wide maneuvers that were fun as well. Hope it was good to watch.
Yeah, it was good to watch, except to when everyone, like you said, in your own words, decombusted and crashed. And also was very unfortunate to see, as we'll be rounding up our Tier 3 stream here. In about 40 minutes, we will have Tier 4 live with Minico, lead commenting, and Feta Cheese, hoping to be co-commenting with him. If not, I would have to take a guess and say that it will be me once again. But after Tier 4, tomorrow, Saturday, which will be Tier 2 and Tier 1, the fastest guys be going at it, Silverstone Circuit, which is basically the home Grand Prix for most teams and most drivers in this league anyway, unless you're not on the American East Coast. But after Saturday, on Sunday, we will have ACC at Bathurst, which I believe is 2 hours, I'm not sure, but it's Bathurst nonetheless with X lead comming, and I'm hoping it will be Mitchie co-comming, because that will be very fun to watch if Mitchie and X do commentate, as I accidentally just switched to an avatar in the showroom. But anyway,
nice
this is...
And it's the season finale for ACC, by the way.
You're correct, it's the season finale. You'll be actually in that race, both of you two actually will be in that race, but we will in 40 minutes for Tier 4.